Touchdown! We're going for two. No questions asked. I got big what? I know I got big. I know they big. They huge. Yeah, we're gonna drag them completely across Saban's face. Like, we're going for two. We're going for the win. Go Tigers. Y'all know this is not gonna get old, right? Anyway, it is November 11th, Veterans Day, Friday. It's a good day. Veterans Day means people who fought for this country, died for this country, and still living for this country, that paved the way for all of us to have our own voices. Whether you like our own voices being spread or you don't like our own voices being spread, it's the veterans that fought for our country to have the freedom to speak our minds, no matter how you look at it. And my favorite veteran would be my dad. My dad died at 52 years old of cancer. And he was my biggest influence on becoming a wrestler, because my dad died at 52 years old. Way too young. I'm 49. The closer I get to his age, the more I think what could have been if he was still living today, to see my daughters and my nephews and my sister and my mom and everything we've accomplished, especially, everything I've accomplished in the wrestling business, which was one of his biggest loves. My dad loved wrestling and he loved boxing. He coached boxing. My dad loved wrestling. We watched wrestling every weekend, Mid-South, on the floor, the living room, killing each other while my mom's screaming at us to calm down because we're going to hurt each other. My dad was actually a small guy, believe it or not. Anyway, so somebody said that, I should talk about my colors that I wore, black and yellow. When we're going to take it back to way back when I first started wrestling again. When I first started wrestling, I wore all black. That was the thing to do. Black. So you can't lose with black, especially being a bad guy. So I did. And then when I started transforming myself into Minotaur, I was still Minotaur, remember, before I started wearing a mask. And I wore black. But when I was transforming myself into Minotaur, I wanted to come up with a different color scheme. And right before that, I tried black and red. I had a pair of black boots that I started out with. Then I bought a pair of black and red ones. And just something didn't fit right with black and red with me, even though I'm a Bulls fan. I still didn't sit right, because every locker room I walked in, everybody was wearing black and red. Everybody had black and red. And I want to be different. Everybody was coming out to Kid Rock too. Like, their entrance music was Kid Rock. I don't know why. Even mine was. Mine was I Am the Bull God, which suits, but then again, the song's about drugs. So I went and got my own music made when I became Minotaur. So I was thinking about it, and I said, I want to keep my whole wrestling journey has been because of my dad, for my dad, with my dad. And my dad was always on my side every time I hit that ring. I know he was. I know my dad's extremely proud of me and the accomplishments I made in this business. But with that being said, my dad, like I said, my dad died of cancer. Back in the day, yellow represented cancer. All cancer. Now you got purple, gold, yellow, blue, fuchsia, all kinds of different colors for all kinds of different cancers. But back then, it was yellow. So I was like, you know what? Nobody is wearing black and yellow. Nobody has yellow. So, and then also, I was thinking about, like I said, I wanted to be different. So I always wanted to keep something with my dad with me that'll make me think of my dad every time I hit the ring. And me wearing black and yellow, so I started getting everything made with black and yellow. And so that people would know, people who close to me know that no matter what, my dad was on my side. And my dad and I had a really up and down relationship when I became an adult. My mom and dad owned a restaurant in Bridge City for 20 years, and their life was in that restaurant. 20 hours a day. You know, my dad ran the bar, my mom ran the kitchen, and they were some hard working people. And when my dad passed, the restaurant business wasn't the same. My mom sold, and life goes on. But there's two things my dad and I had. We had wrestling, and we used to like to play darts. We played darts because he had darts in his ballroom, and we played darts together. But that's where I got the yellow from. So if everybody's wondering why I was always adamant about yellow and never changing my colors, it's because of my dad. I always had my dad with me. Now, at the same time, my dad passed away. Within a year, I lost my best friend. My best friend that I grew up with, went to school with. He loved wrestling. We used to go by another friend of ours to watch the pay-per-views on Sunday nights every month, and James loved wrestling. So I kept something with him, kept something that reminded me of him with me wrestling over the years too. So every show I went to, if you look closely, not that big towel, but this towel right here that's hanging on my wall, it's real grungy, dungy, and holes in it and everything. Every show, wrestling show I had, I brought that towel. That was my sweat. That was my sweat towel. He bought that towel for me because I was a big Bulls fan. I'm a Pelicans fan too, because on that side of the room, I got a Pelicans wall too. So don't think I'm not a Pelicans fan. But the Bulls, I've been a fan since I was a kid. So he bought that towel for me. So every show I went to, I had something on my dad, which was a black and yellow, and I had something on my best friend James, which was that towel. And so, yeah, it's Veterans Day. My dad was a veteran. He was a Marine, very proud Marine. And I'm 7 minutes in. It's gonna be short today, but my next videos, I'm gonna try to go into some friends that I've made along the way, along my journey. Some ribs we used to pull on each other, and with the LSU and Alabama game, I might go into a Paul Bearer story, which was Bill Moody, Percy Pringle III / Paul Bearer, who was the manager on The Undertaker. He managed me too. Might go into a couple stories about him because we used to stay in contact with each other all the time, and every time Alabama played LSU, he hit me up. So I may go into those. If anybody's got any suggestions, please let me know. Share, once again. I know some of the boys are watching this. Like I said before, share it, dude. I put y'all some bitches over for 23 years. Least y'all could do is share my stuff. Come on. Share it! Love y'all. Have a great weekend. It's Friday. The Saints ain't doing worth a shit. LSU's doing okay. Let's go.